Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a topic I don't see many people talking about. Remember how GW said that, well, Grotmish went pretty good, right? So they were going to continue to release quarterly detachments to keep things a little bit fresh. Yeah, with the balanced data slate being probably soon TM, I haven't seen anybody bring up what possible detachments are coming up, or what factions rather. And with that, that's kind of what I want to do here today. Now, mind you, there might be leaks and there might be rumors. I haven't seen them yet. This will be terribly timed if there's like 5 million videos out and I've just dodged all of them on my algorithm. But I haven't seen anything yet, so we're going to talk about it here today. If you know anything, feel free to put it in the comments, I guess. And if you are really adverse to spoilers, probably don't look in the comments, I guess. I don't know. But with that, let's talk about my color coordinated document. Boom, 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 boom. What? It's not a tab and it's not a website. Woo, 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 woo. So, I have all of the armies typed out. I think I got everything. Maybe I'm missing one. Who knows? Um, then I color code it according to what I think has a chance at getting their detachment now, or, the likelihood of that. And if they already have their detachment, they're that nice, like, periwinkle blue kind of thing. So that's kind of what's going on here. Of course, green, closer to green being increased likelihood, and away from that being decreased, with red being, hey, you are far too new to be getting that right now, in my opinion. And then yellow, I should address these three yellow because they're right here. They don't have their codex out yet, and Deathwatch, I truly have no idea what's going on there. So, yeah. Now, let's get into it. Sisters, first up, our first one in the alphabetical order, and is green, because I do think it's time for Sisters to get a new detachment. Monster, I hear yourself say. Champions of Faith happened. Yeah, that was Grotmiss. Uh, Everybody got Grotmiss. Now we're waiting for not Grotmiss detachment. Now, personally, I'll be honest, I don't know enough about Sisters to possibly tell you what you could be missing out of army things to possibly come in. A wiser monster would have pulled up ninth edition and been like, yeah, there's something there, but I will give GW some amount of credit. They've been okay enough at not doing exactly that by pulling things that previously happened too much. Like, they did give Borkhan to Tau, but they also gave us a rule for Tyrannage that we used to have. And they gave it an entire detachment and then added reroll. So, who knows what's going on in the minds of the designers over NGW. But with that said, if you are a Sisters player, tell me what you think needs to happen here. Because what I'm looking at, right, what I would surmise is we have obviously had the vehicle detachment, have two melee detachments, have an army rule detachment, uh, and index, I guess. I don't know what you would really call that. So just looking at units, and this isn't me going, hey, I want to see this for you all. This is just my only guess, right? Out of pattern recognition, I would imagine that you all get a scoring detachment, whether that be a lot of bodies or stealth bodies or something like that. That's stealth bodies, like, you know what I mean, like Skitari Hunter cohort, Vanguard onslaught, things like that. Play fly blown host, something that is a little bit not innately powerful, but something that is supposed to score points, apparently. That's what I would guess out of looking at here. Maybe something that gives you a bunch of battle sisters, um, calls you all a bunch of battle sisters. Like, if there's a. Because what other keywords are there? Sanctifiers, we already did. You all already did penitent. And I will say, hopefully, GW has learned their lesson to back off with all the keyword shit. So hopefully not that. Or also, another flavor that we've seen a couple of times is detachments that are affected by character units, right? By having a character attached to them, something like that. That's what my guess would be. Out of looking at the units here, you all have a lot of characters. Maybe make battle sisters even like more of them. I don't know. I have no clue. But that's just that green there. Then we have Custodes that already had Lions of the Emperor. Then we go over to Admech. Admech. Halo's Creed Battleclade was pretty decent, right? Like that was okay. Is that fair to say? It was okay. There's been still some, from what I've seen out of looking at stats and the occasional like wins to see what's going on there. There's some back and forth between Halo's Creed and Skitarii Hunter cohort still. Now, that out the way, they kind of covered almost every keyword, I think, in this damn book. Like, I don't think there's too many that are just straight up left out or something like that. But again, I don't really know. You have a vehicle detachment, you have a little people detachment, I guess we'll call it that. You have an objective control detachment. Going to sisters, that could be one, but I guess you could argue that's what Bringers of Flame is too. Objective control detachment meaning like, hey, if you are on this objective or this portion of the board, you do a thing. So maybe that's something that sisters could be getting. Don't really know. Just going off of flavors that they've been repeating. But, that's just from somebody that doesn't know the history of detachments for that armies. For example, uh, Borkhan was going back to the Tau. Borkhan was a thing that people had, people liked, kind of okay, or something that a niche that needs to be filled per se. Tau needed a way to blend like all of this stuff together that wasn't just auxiliary cadre, not tag teaming, but hey, here's a blanket rule that goes for all of your shit. Have fun. Uh, I don't really know what sisters are missing in terms of that. So going back to Admech, can't say I know what Admech's missing on that front either. Um, Now with that, there's a lot of coverage of things here, and GW tried to fix quote unquote the problem of Admech by making Halo's Creed Battleclade, into which you could just boost your own stats to make them not just Admech data sheets. They're like average data sheets at that point, right? So they tried that route. And past that, I don't know what else you could try. Let's see. Looking at this, Skitari's covered. Maybe something with Mounted or Walker. Maybe Walker. Like, there's a lot of Walker shit. But isn't that like cohort cyber? Well, I guess it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if they did some bull with walkers. Like, hey, if you walk, here's your rule. I don't fucking know. Um, it would be interesting if they did something with the weapon profiles. Um, in the sense that AdMech has a lot of anti-infantry and a lot of anti-vehicle. It would be interesting if they found a way to make anti-infantry, anti-beast, and anti-mounted or whatever, and then anti-vehicle is also anti-monster or something. I don't know. It would be cool if they gave you all a bit power that way from somebody that doesn't know the army. I think that'd be cool. But looking at it, I really have no clue what else could be done here while trying to boost things up. What could It could be something as simple and as lame as while you're playing the game, you get both imperatives the entire time. Ba-doom doom doom. And if battle lines around, you win the game. I don't know. I don't know. Probably something with sustained or lethal, I would imagine. That's not too much on the detachments themselves. Yeah, maybe something like that. Who knows? I have no clue. But I say that to say that if you are an AdMech player and have a particular hope, let's talk about that. Go ahead, let me know. Coming back over here though, Aeldari and Astra Militarum I both have as dark green. I think that their codex isn't old enough yet for them to be receiving something right now. However, I want to add a mad asterisk. Is there can I change this color? What did I put? I put this as that for a reason. We let's do one of those for Astra Militarum because GW likes the guard enough that there is a chance that they still get something this go around. I did it based on like how old the codex has been out for, basically, really, or if it's been a while. But I could see them going, "Hey, Aeldari elves, you're fine right now. We just took out Yanari like not too long ago, but you're still kicking. You're fine. Astra Militarum, we took out Bridgehead Strike, and we shouldn't have done that, even though you also had like Hammer of the Emperor and a couple other things pop up every now and again. Here's something to make you play guard again because that's our other selling army because people like the little army guys. I could see GW doing that. So just a slight pitch closer to that green. Then we have Black Templars who just got their codex. Don't think they're up in the running. Can't see that happening. I would be absolutely floored if GW did that back to back. But then we have Blood Angels. And oh boy, Blood Angels, Blood Angels, Blood Angels. So check it out. You all have Angelic Inheritors, Angelic Host, the Lost Brethren to cover those units, and you all refuse to let go of lag no matter what comes out after that. Judging by the only things that I would imagine is left, if it had something to do with vehicles, just between Predators and Dreadnoughts, I that's my best guess. That is my best guess as to what could possibly be left for Blood Angels to explore. Or, or here's the other thing: GW goes the route that they did with Lions of the Emperor. What do I mean by that? Lions of the Emperor was a better Auric champions. Can we agree on that? Like, it's just better Auric champions, right? So, what I imagine they do, on top of the changes that they just did that last go around with the librarian shit, the psyker shit. What are these fuckers called again? But the sanguinary priest and yeah, like that flavor of stuff. I can see them going back to make a better version of there you were, the Lost Brethren. Something with Death Company. I could see them doing a better Red Thirst detachment situation. They're like, hey, we kind of missed the mark, haven't touched it whatsoever. How about anything Blood Angel does Blood Angel harder? I don't know. I don't know Blood Angels enough, like at all, really. I just know that the quickest to yell in my comments about when I talk about them. But I got nothing. I got nothing. Blood Angels players, excuse me. If you have any insight as to what you're thinking Blood Angels could possibly get if you're up, right? I looked at it, and here's the thing: you're also still Space Marines. So I don't know if GW is ruling that as much because they did give Wrath of the Rock to Dark Angels. They did. And since they did Dark Angels, I'm starting to be inclined to believe that Blood Angels are the next ones to get something. I'm starting to believe. And Wrath of the Rock, let's see, that was a, toughness thing. Could bolster something that you're already good at even further, but that's what lag is. That's why everybody plays lag. Angelic Inheritors was the character kind of situation, right? Yeah. Hmm. Oh, also, I am still thinking Lions of the Emperor way. Ironically, right? It could also be a situation where with Lions of the Emperor, it was like, hey, here's your bonus for being away from each other. The way that Blood Angels like to be around Sanguinary Priest and the other people. Yep, I know Blood Angels, those things, right? It could be something like when you're around each other, you get bonuses. That would be neat. That's my guess for Blood Angels. Going past that, Chaos Demons. I don't know if Shadow Legion counts. I have no clue if Shadow Legion counts. It's not in the other rule section here. So, like, no, it doesn't count, right? Maybe. But it's also like bonus rules that nobody was expecting. So I have no clue if that counts. Let me know in the comments if you think that counts or not. I got nothing. Chaos Knights just got their codex. No, not happening. I would imagine not. Uh, CSM got Cabal of Chaos. Dark Angels got Wrath of the Rock. Death Guard. I put them as red. But I don't think they're that red, if I'm being honest. I put them as red. Actually, yeah, let's fix that color too. Let's fix that color too. I put them as red because I think the GW would be insane to let them have new things again after how they've been handling the meta this entire time. But at the same time, GW could be seeing green and want to make more green by giving the green more things. There is a slight chance that GW goes, hey, we made the points for Death Guard go up, right? Here's a new detachment on top of the codex that's doing okay. Pretty okay. And then you go about it there. What Death Guard could possibly be missing? I have no clue. But that would be really funny out of GW if they did that. Not gonna lie. Then Deathwatch. I have no clue what Deathwatch counts as right now. Like, I know they're their own separate faction, but does that mean they also get a second detachment? And do you need a second detachment past Black Spear Task Force? I don't know. I don't understand it. Drukhari don't even have. I guess I should have put these as red because, duh. But also, they did give Drukhari Sky Splinter Assault. So maybe they go out of order, kind of, and they go, hey, you're not going to get this flesh crafter. What the fuck are they called again for Drukhari? This flesh carver? Is it crafter? Anyway, thing detachment in your codex. Here's it as a bonus detachment. They could do that. I just, I could have sworn that we agree that the rules were, hey, you have to have your codex out, and since it's been a minute, you've been waiting for a while, here's this. But Drukhari have been waiting a while. So, who knows? Emperor's Children, I have at the same with Aeldari. It was a little bit later, like a couple of weeks later, right? Um, if my memory serves me correctly, I could be completely off base. But Emperor's Children, I just can't see them giving them a new detachment right now until they figure out what to do with the army in general right now, because I told everybody that they got over nerfed. As soon as I saw it, I was like, but they have like 10 data sheets. You can't do this harder than nerfs. People said they were still good. I was like, haha, bullshit. Turns out, yeah, they're not doing too hot past that. So I would like to see them buff the points first and figure out what the actual issues were besides the Winged Demon Prince were, and then figure that out. Then we have GSC. And GSC, I'm so sorry because this might be putting out bad vibes into the universe, but I wouldn't be surprised if this were the case. You notice how there's Brood Brother Auxilia right next to Final Day? Now, mind you, Wahapedia probably did that as a funny coinkydink. But Final Day was tagging in Tyranids. Brood Brother Auxilia was tagging in the Guard. There's one other faction. Well, actually, I guess there's two or three technically. I mean, I guess they don't technically have to stop there, huh? But there's another faction that I would imagine that they randomly tag them with. And by golly, GSC, I really hope this doesn't happen to you. I really hope that your last detachment does not end up being you can take you can take 50% of AdMech to make, is it, I believe it's Rusted Claw? Is that the one that has like AdMech kind of peeps, or is that what Outlander Claw is? Somebody let me know. But that, I would be upset for them if that's what their last detachment is. However, past that, let's review the units once more. The thing that's been doing well is Host of Ascension, Swarm Host, right? Biosanctic had its time. I guess there's room for, let's see, what does Xenocrete do again? You have a weird advance, right? Oh, you reroll advance and charge rolls, right? My guess, whoopsie, go back up. Maybe something to do with ranged weapons again. And again, being that how they terrorized us with demolition charges at the start of the edition. And then they made the Benefactus. And I don't know why they did that, to be honest. Like, the Benefactus is cool, don't get me wrong. And I understand you put like 2 or 3 in the current meta list. But it goes with things, and it could possibly just straight up kill itself on one bad hazardous roll instead of having 4 wounds. Unless they fix that, but I haven't checked in a while. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it has something to do with ranged combat that isn't Brood Brothers Auxilia. Something that gives something. I don't know. You have trucks, Ridge Runners, Jackals, Rock Grinder, Benefactus, Demo Charges. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some ranged combat aspect out of GSC. So, that's my call on that one. GSC players, tell me what you are hoping for here. Then coming back over to the list, Grey Knights just got their codex. Imperial agents. Oh boy, oh boy. CGW is giving them things because I didn't expect them to get a Grotmus detachment, if I'm being honest. So, past that, what the fuck could they do here? Which is funny enough, last I checked, Imperial agents have like a 50+% win rate out of like the 6 players that are playing them. So, hey, I don't know at this point. No, you don't get an army rule, I guess. I have no clue here. You have Purge the Xenos, Purge the Alien, Purge the Heretic. You have Imperialis fleet, which is all encompassing. And you have the Assassins. What else could Imperial agents get? Well, here's a wild one. Here's a wild one. Instead of being the allies, you can ally in even more of any Imperial army. That's my guess. So you can take a Ward and Brick. Maybe. Maybe some sister shenanigans. Maybe a little bit of AdMech. Maybe a Baneblade or two. That's my guess on what Imperial agents might get. Because at that point, like, they've covered all their bases. If I'm being honest, it seems like all the bases are covered. As far as, I mean, The only other thing I could guess is something Inquisitor based, right? Like, if there's an Inquisitor attached to this unit, you do a thing. But then you could only have, let's see, 6 units that benefit from that, right? So, I don't know, maybe it's an Inquisitor thing. Or plus Inquisitorial agents, I guess, so that gives you another 3 possible units. That's my guess there. So, Imperial agents, maybe either one of those. Imperial Knights, they don't have their codex out, so they're back in that yellow. Legion of Votan just happened, and then Necrons. Oh, Necrons. So, here's the thing, right? Here is the thing. Star Shatter Arsenal, let's go to this, was for vehicle and mounted. Got assault. Hypercrypt Legion did some teleporting. Obeisance finally got its keywords figured out. Canoptic, hey, you like cryptics and uh, ah, canoptics? Yeah, there you go. Annihilation Legion, Destroyer Cults, and Awakened Dynasty Index, right? Here's one that I am kind of surprised, but not at the same time. They technically, still don't have a monster mass detachment. Technically. So, if there's a Catan Shard situation, a dedicated Catan Shard detachment, especially now that they had to talk about the Nightbringer. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh, maybe. Now, however, the Nightbringer is scheduled for 2026, right? Uh, there's a chance that this is supposed to be like early 2026, like January is, I guess. So that will put us, what, 5 months away? Can I do math? Yeah, sure. So a detachment now would feel awkward, especially when there should be 11th edition knocking on our door. But it is possible that this carries over into 11th, so you still have that option. So I don't know. I could see a Catan Shard thing going on, and if they do that, I would hope that they include the Silent King because he has a Catan Shard on his throne. Uh, but yeah, there's missing a straight up monster mass situation, so I would hope it'd be monster and vehicle. Uh, that way I could throw a Doomstalker with the Void Dragon and not feel bad about it. Well, bad that I'm doing it to my opponent, but like not bad in my list. Doomsday Art, something like that. That's what my hope would be out of this. We have enough Mancer things. We have destroyers. We have vehicles. I don't want anything transport related because we don't need that between Hypercrypt Legion and the Ghost Ark actually seeing play this edition. Not for transport purposes, but it was played, so I don't think we need that and the Night Scythe, right? What else? What else? I think that covers the bases. I mean, they might make Silver Tide. They might straight up say, hey, here's a Silver Tide build. However, I've talked about how you can do that in Canoptic, and people did that in Awakened. So I don't think that you need a dedicated Silver Tide, but to keep it fair, I wish you could see the air quotes. I mean, you, if I was a different time, yeah, you'd see the air quotes. Either way, air quotes, fair, by making it so that Necrons don't have something too powerful again. Now, they aren't dominating the meta currently, even after getting buffs that nobody expected that last balance patch. Um, they're actually like in not a great spot, not a terrible one either, I guess. They've been very quiet. I feel like all the Necron players have gone to other things to play right now. That's pretty much all I'm understanding out of that. So they could make a silver tide for immortals, warriors. I would hope that they throw in Lich Guard to it if they do that. But yeah, they might do an infantry detachment in general. Maybe it's just infantry, right? That's what I would guess for Necrons. And then that kind of wraps us up for here. We already had orcs with Mordakas, Space Marines. I don't know if Forge Father Seekers counts. They kind of dropped that. And it also says salamanders. So, like, I know there's flavor there, and the thing, like, oh, look, it's the salamanders got it. Somebody fill me in on what's going on here. I have no clue if this counts or not. Space Wolf just got their Codex. Tal had experimental prototype. Thousand Suns just got their Codex. Tyrannid, we just got Subterranean. Uh, and World Eaters just got their Codex. So that's my heat map color code thing of what I think the detachments, or the likelihood of factions getting a quarterly detachment in, I guess, a week or two. Maybe, who knows? So, and that's based off of me not hearing any rumors or seeing any leaks. If you know something, like I said, go ahead, throw it in the comments, I guess. So people be warned. If you don't want spoilers, I guess don't look in the comments. Possibly, I don't know. Um, I need to stop clicking. I was trying to get the cursor off. Now it's just annoying. But let's go here. Yeah. If you liked the video, like it. Got a comment for me? Comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.